Holy cow, special occasion. Look who's here. I've got the two boys right here. They're hanging out with us, that's right. Wow, how about that, huh? You see this? See, I got a cat and a dog. Let me see. Okay, well, let's see. Move over a little bit. Okay. All right. How's it going, Ashar? Okay. Yeah, so we got Lionel and we got Bix. It only took 3 cookies to get Bix here. And there's more. See, here's another one. Hey Bix, want a cookie? I got one. Here you go. Oops. And of course now the cat's getting jealous. So this means one thing. I have to go over here and get a cookie for Lionel. There. Okay. There. How about that, huh? Okay. And there's more where those came from, okay? There. Lionel. See? See? Right there. Okay. Maybe Lionel will get up and play the piano. All right, so we got Tesco, we got Don, and we got Ashar. Got the team. And we got the cat, and we got the dog. That's right. Yes, and there's more cookies. Lionel. Here. Okay. Yeah, so we had a nice night so far. I was watching the Tampa Bay Rays play, and not sure of the score yet. They were losing a little while ago, and then I started ordering business cards for the RV business. Yeah, I got some RV activity guys. You know, y'all want to own a amazing, holy cow, incredible, like you Beverly Hillbillies, you know, you hit it big. You want to own one of these big ones? Talk to me, because there's people just running head over heels or hand over fist or whatever, climbing all over each other to get into the RV dealers and buy a brand new, overpriced motorhome. And I don't do that. When I was selling RVs for 14 months, after the tour with the circus, where I learned a whole bunch about high-end motorhomes, I went and started selling them, and I could not believe that the salespeople would let somebody that didn't know what they were doing come in and call the shots and order the wrong RV or buy the wrong motorhome or whatever, fifth wheel. And they'd come back 6 months later, take an enormous hit. I mean, literally the equivalent of 10 years savings, and it would just be gone like that. It's called depreciation. And you know, people save for a lifetime for an RV, which is typically the biggest investment somebody will make into themselves. Yeah, just like a boat. Same thing. Boat is a big investment too. Great return. I've got memories of boating that go back 30 years. And yeah, it wasn't cheap, but yeah, they're real memories and really good experiences, and bad ones and funny ones. And like, okay, my first boat story. I bought a boat in 1988. It was 5 years old, and I think it was like, I don't know, $10,000 or something like that. It was a 23-foot Chris Craft Seahawk. Got a great deal on it. 200 horse, no, 150 horse motor. And got a great deal, fantastic deal. And I wanted to get it before the boat races in Sarasota. We had this huge Grand Prix it was like this, the big race of the year for the whole offshore boat race circuit. And so I got the boat literally the Friday before the weekend, or Thursday, so I went and picked it up, or no, had it delivered, and I had there was a service with a truck that could have come, and they could take it and put it in the water for me. You know, I'd pay them like $50 every time I needed to put in the water, which was good money for them back then, and not a lot of money today. So I had it pulled into my yard, and I'm thinking, well, I'm going to use it 2 weekends a month, you know, so $100. That's not bad. It's okay. It'll be in my yard. Well, pulled it in there. The next morning, get up, and there's a note on the boat. It says, sorry, no boats allowed in your yard. And then it started. So anyway, I moved it out the next day, moved it to a dry storage, which was $240 a month. So much for that, $140. You know, I was planning on spending $100 twice a month. Now I'm up to $240 a month. And take it to this really good dry storage on Siesta Key. And so we took the boat out first time, went offshore, went fishing. It was the day before the boat race, and things are going great. And then the boat just conked out, and it turned out the water pump, the impeller in the water pump. Oh no, it wasn't that. That was the next weekend. The voltage regulator on the starter was bad, and so there we are, 2 miles offshore, and it didn't work. It wouldn't start, and the radio didn't work either. That's why I was only two miles offshore, not 10. And so anyway, I used up most of my flares and finally flagged or a towboat came out, and no, it wasn't a towboat. It was a guy come out and he says, "I'll tow you to the beach for $100." And I told him, I'm sorry, I can't do that. That's insane. He said, "Okay, you'll be sorry." So I kept shooting flares, and another guy came up, and he called the tow company, the boat towing company. And I'm thinking, well, if I'm going to spend $100, I'm going to get towed at least to where I need to be. So tow company came out, towed us in, and oh, by the way, they told us the bill would be $375 for the tow. And again, this is 1988. So this is 1988, $375. That's like $1,000 today. And so we got in. On the way in, I was really very mad, feeling real stupid. And the guy was supposed to like hug the shore and then make a 90-degree turn. Well, I didn't tell him that because I figured he knew where to. Well, I didn't figure anything. I just didn't tell him he was about to run aground. He ran aground, and then he had to get towed. Took us an extra hour. Messed his outdrive up, but at least I got my $375 worth, and I'm sure they had insurance. So we got towed in, and of course the next day it's a boat race, and nobody could fix the boat. And so that was my first weekend with the boat. Then the next weekend went out, and the impeller on the motor went bad, which keeps it cool while it was overheating. And so I pulled up to the beach, and this is back when they had pay phones, no cell phones. And so I called the mechanic that I had called the weekend before, and he actually came out and put in a new impeller and got me all fixed up. Of course, it was $400 for the service call and the impeller and the labor and everything. But we were fishing. And I went fishing with my buddy Nick, and it was good. It was great, $400, you know. And so basically, every time I went out in that boat, every weekend, I would spend about $400. And and I went out fishing a lot. And so all I had to do was work harder. And I did, and I worked my tail off. And then we had a bad economy, 1990, and whew, man, just wasn't a good time. I had a high-rise apartment, the boat. That's it, high-rise apartment and the boat, and car payment, and a bad stock market, 1990. So yeah, it was. I really got in over my head. So anyway, so I've had my experience with boats, and then we did the same thing with an RV though, 15 years later. But this time I started a business, and it's called the RV Buyer's Advocate. I keep people from doing stupid things, and it also is a business that enables me to play music. So that's why I'm talking about it now. If it weren't for that business, I would not be here talking to you guys. And I wouldn't be out playing gigs at night. I'd be just getting off work at the Walmart as the greeter, or maybe as a assistant store manager making $60,000 a year, whatever, you know, with my college degree. And, you know, I'd be doing that. But instead, I'm living the dream. I'm online with you guys. Got Billy the Kid here. And yeah, boats are a mechanical nightmare. But, you know, I was on a race team after I had my boat. I got involved with a race team. And made friends with some mechanics and learned a lot. And learned about preventive maintenance and the whole thing. And then I had another boat. And this boat, though, was owned by somebody else. I got an investor to buy it, deal of the century. It was, for any of you that know boats, there was a company called Talon, and they made a boat called the Carrier. It's 25 feet long. It's got a catamaran hull, right? But it's not a sailboat. This is a go-fast boat. And the stock Talon in 1991, off the showroom floor with twin 2.5 Mercury outboards on it, would run 105 miles an hour offshore, right? This is out in the Gulf, not in a lake, you know, in glassy water. And so anyway, I bought their prototype stern drive. They just happened to need money to buy outboards one weekend during a bad economy, and in 1990. And so I called a client, and he said, no problem, and he wrote the check, and I picked it up, and we got it, fixed it up, had it painted, and made it look nice, and I did preventive maintenance on it, and it ran perfectly every time. It even broke down on a test run when I was selling it for $35,000, and the guy was like, oh, that's great, and I said, no problem, and I got on the radio, which worked, called Gulf Wind Marine, had them patch in Bolt, who was the mechanic, and I said, call Grant, have him meet me, and this guy lived on the water. Grant was the mechanic for the race team, and he came out and he worked on the boat in the water. No, I'm sorry, we got the boat to, he towed it over to the same beach that I went on 2 years earlier to have my repair done of the impeller. It was the same thing too, it was an impeller. And he replaced it in, I don't know, 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and we were back out in the test drum. And we sold it. So yeah, I had that boat for, I don't know, I think 6 months. And the guy who bought it took it up to Lake of the Ozarks, and I forget where that is, put a new motor in it, 1,400 horse motor, Arneson surface drive. He spent, I think, $70,000 on the engine and the outdrive and other stuff, and sent me a picture of the boat. Man, I gotta find it. It's in one of my old hard drives, but so in the picture, the boat's this big, and the rooster tail is that big. It's like, you know, 4x6 picture, and it's like boat, rooster tail. And I said, how fast does it go? He goes, fast. I mean, I'm assuming it must have run about 140 miles an hour or something like that. Cool boat. So Talon, yeah, Talon boats. Wow, great company. They ended up, Gary Armington, the founder and the builder, designer, was more of an artist than a business guy, and so he built and designed some of the most awesome boats, and a company called Hustler bought his molds, and you can see the 25, it's called a Hustler now. They even have a class of boats in France that race on the Nice. The Nice, is that the river? No, anyway, River Nice, no, anyway, but it's in France, and they have I think 25 or 30 of these 25-foot boats that all race in a class in France. And anyway, but now they're Hustler boats, and I believe they're selling, the one I had bought for $10,000 back then, is about $250,000 now. So yeah, boats went nuts. All right, so did I lose everybody? You all bored? Watch a few different boating YouTube channels and motorhome channels. All right, yeah, my favorite motorhome channels is, I love this guy, what's his name? Oh, he just popped out of nowhere. Brian's RVs. Brian works at Premier RV, and I know Louie, the owner, and Brian's a tech there, and I'm trying to get, well, if I can get my business really supercharged, I want to get Brian to work with me, because he's amazing. He really, I mean, he knows everything. And I just focus on country coaches and Monaco's too. He worked for both companies. And then Andrew Steele is the other guy. And it's just kind of funny, you know, having Andrew Steele, you know, he got his first 40-foot motorhome, and then he realizes it's a piece of you-know-what, you know, and then he gets a better one. And he's working on it. You know, he's getting there. And but he learned about Country Coach, so I'm assuming he's going to end up with a 2007 Affinity, which is the boat to own. I'm not boat, the motorhome to own. And let's see, Rays. Oh, they got their butts kicked, 8-3. Yeah. Anyway, I want an RV. Blackjack wants an RV. Well, I got a little Class C that is will be ready to sell next week. And I got a screaming deal on it. It's a 2016. It had bad vinyl from the manufacturer, and it all went bad. So it was kind of a not quite a repo, but because it was paid for. But anyway, it was something that had to be sold from an estate. So I got a great deal, and but the executor of the estate, I called him instead of getting my investor to buy the coach and split the profit with me. I called the executor and I said, if you let me do this at the price that we decided on, I'll have the motorhome fixed up, and that's what I'm doing. And when it's done next week, it will be like brand new. And just got some miles, got 63,000 miles on it, and but it's about 20,000 plus less than what they're going for right now. So, and you know that kind of money disintegrates anyway. So yeah, it's a 2016 Thor Chateau 31L double slide. It's got big TV on the outside. You know, you just open up the door and there's a TV there, and it's got the electric awning and rear bedroom. 40-inch TV, I think, in the bedroom, and a 32 in the main salon, or the opposite, might be the 40-inch in the main salon. It's a Ford E450 chassis, which is the big one, and it's great. It's be like new, and it'll be $50,000. I can get it financed, and 20% down, and that. What I make there will help me be a musician and help me do YouTube videos and maybe put more money into the marketing. It's a 2000. Oh, hey, Bulldog Mom. Yeah, this would work for you. It's a 2016 Thor Chateau, and It's a Class C, sleeps 8 people. It's got a bedroom in the back, and then it's got a booth, dinette that turns into a bed. It's got a sofa that turns into a bed, and it's got the overhead bunk. That is a bed. And it's got, again, 63,000 miles on it. But it would work well with the slide out to give lessons. And it's got 1 air conditioner, so you don't have to worry about 2 or 3 ACs on it. So it'll run off of 30 amps. And got a generator, 4,000 watt Onan generator. But it'll have new tires, new batteries. It's even got an AGM battery in it. But yeah, it'll be really, really amazing. A super deal for this market right now. But Joe knows. All right, so let me see here. 50K, ouch. Yeah, I know. Well, the thing is, here's the one thing about the price of an RV. People, when I was selling RVs at Lazy Days, people would come in and go, well, I only want to spend $200,000. They're thinking, no, I'm going to spend 200 grand. I said, cool. And I made this comment up. So I guess after you spend the 200 and you're done with it, you're just going to give it to charity? What do you mean? No, heck no. I said, well, I thought you wanted to spend 200,000. I said, what do you want to spend a year to own it? And then I would give them a number. I said 30, 40, 50,000. And most of the time, if someone wanted to spend 200, they'd go, 30. I said, great. I'd show them a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, $600,000 motorhome that would depreciate about 20,000 or less. I said, this one you can own for 1/10 of what you wanted to spend. Because you said you want to spend 200, you can own this for 20K a year, because that's all it's going to drop in value. Because the place I worked at, they didn't allow you to talk the price of the coach. They didn't want you. What can I get this for? That's what the customers would always ask, and they weren't allowed to say that. So I sold a lot of RVs, and I made sure I sold the ones that Lazy Days owned the cheapest, or had the longest, and because I understood the value. So what can I get for 20K a year? No, I'm kidding. For 20K right now, not much. A van. You can get a van for 8. You can get a van camper, a Rialta, 2001, 2002, 3, 1999, depending on the miles, and that's what you can get for 20K. And the reason why you can get other ones, you can get Class Cs that are from like 2004, 2005. But Rialta's cool. That one holds its value, and it's got a low cost of ownership. And I just helped a lady buy is it a Leisure? I think it was a Leisure Time, and was a B, Class B. Was it a B? I think it was a B or a B plus. It was a B plus, and had like 90,000 miles on it, and she paid 38. And it was an 05. Yeah. Right, I will get a Class C is older. Yeah. Now, thing is, with the older ones, you can't finance them. You can only finance like 2008 and newer. So that's one thing you have to keep in mind. And if you finance, you probably don't finance, I'll bet. But anyway, if you do finance, you can own them for a couple $100 a month. Like this Class C, because it's so new, the payment on it would be about $250 a month. And that's, I don't know, kind of what an electric bill is, right? Rent in California is not $250 a month. I mean, you can't rent a bedroom for $250 a month in California. So I remember Sammy was renting bedrooms in Nashville. They were $600 a month, and that was like 20 miles outside of town. So here you go. You get a whole unit. That's all yours, and you can drive it, All right, blackjack, 3,000. There you go. All right. 3,000, that's what, oh my God. Yeah, rent here is about 1,800 to 2,000 a month for, like, my house is rent for maybe 2,400 a month. and which is nice, nice deal, I guess, for a house like this. But the value jumped up in the last 3 months about 15%, maybe 20, almost 20%. And yeah, it's nuts. But the rents are the same. So the reason why the price is going up is because investors are basically buying everything because they're thinking they can make a killing renting and so on. Yeah. So, but anyway, getting back to RVs, that's basically me as a musician. I do RVs. I paid a lot of money to go to a Damon John seminar, and it was in North Carolina. It was in Charlotte, and this was back in 2018. And I remember when they were asking people to introduce themselves. Most people were there to learn about Amazon and how to start an Amazon business. And they got to me, and I said, well, I'm a musician, and I want to have a very successful motorhome consulting business, so I can just play music. And I just want my business to do enough where I can play music and it won't engulf my life. Because I've decided that music is how I want to, that's what I want to do. And at the time I was like 60, I'm thinking, okay, I'm 60, I only get one career left. So that's basically, that's what I told them, and we kind of put a plan together, and so I'm on it. And but the whole key is not to work too hard, not to what am I saying? Work too hard, not to work inefficiently at the wrong thing. Because I can go to Lazy Days right now and sell motorhomes, and I just have a feeling I'd make a couple, $200,000-300,000 a year doing that. But that's not what I want to do. Okay, because all I remember is the salespeople at Lazy Days were not happy. I was, and the people that weren't happy despised me because of it, because I really loved what I did. And so that's why I started this business, RV Buyers Advocate. Go to the website. It's rvbuyersadvocate.com. And what I am is I am a RV Buyers Advocate, okay? And if you look at all of the RV Buyers Advocates in the country, there aren't any, just me, because I guess I'm the only one that really wants to help people save money. Well, everyone else just wants to put them in the right motorhome, right? Which they really don't. So anyway, nice gig, 300K. Yeah, seriously, the top salespeople back in 2006 were making $200 to $250. So I'm thinking, okay, it's 2021 now, so I'm sure I can make 300. Because the Class C back then was $68,000. Today the Class C is $150,000. So yeah, I think if they do get a piece of the commission, the sale, the gross profit, then yeah, you can make big money. And but the one thing I didn't do is I didn't put people in new motorhomes. I couldn't. I would, without giving away the farm, giving them all the secrets, I would just tell them that the best value is in the pre-owned. And what we're going to do is, and I would tell them this, okay, see that bed? We're going to order a brand new mattress, okay, brand new king-size mattress. It'll be memory foam or the blow-up kind, the sleep number double thing, and we'll order a new one of those. And I wouldn't even, there's nothing wrong with the one that's there. I would just tell them we'll order a new one. So that way you can sleep on a new mattress. And let's see, and then we'll make sure we get brand new electronics up front. And we can have the fabrics reupholstered. And I said, okay, you have all that done, and we are at about 10% of the sales tax on a new one, which doesn't come back to you. Because I would create all these ways to talk to them without showing them the price of the coach, but showing them the value and how much they can save. And that's why I started my business, because one day a manager said to me, who are you working for, them or us? And that was all I needed to hear. So, yep. May I ask something? Go ahead, Wolf. Motorhomes are for freedom. Motorhomes are for choices. Okay? They don't give you complete freedom because then you are a slave to the maintenance and the well-being of the motorhome. Okay, so but what it does is it gives you choices, and you have freedom to choose. Motorhome gives you the ability to sit 9 feet off of the ground while all the cars are 4 feet off of the ground. When you're sitting in your car, you're 3.5 feet off the ground. I'm in my motorhome at 9 feet, and I don't even see the cars. All I see is the mountains in front of me through this huge one-piece windshield. Again, this is a diesel pusher. So, and there are some diesel pushers as far back as the year 2000, which you can buy for about $40,000, $50,000. And the funny thing is, you could have paid $40,000 to $50,000 for that 2000 motorhome since 2011. So what does that tell you? They don't depreciate. Okay, the maintenance is your cost. And the motorhome we had with Ringling Brothers, we got it used, 140 grand, sold it for 140 a year later, and it was beautiful. And that motorhome today can be bought for 50, which is less than most cars, half the price of a really, really good truck. And but it's got a Cummins, 350 in the back, big Allison 6-speed transmission, made of steel, weighs 30,000 pounds, and beautiful. I mean, awesome, solid, cherry interior, real cherry, not the fake stuff, Anyway, in my case, yes, it would be freedom. Yeah, all right, well, cool. Well, oh yeah, Don, it would be freedom for you. Now, Don, in your case, there are lifts that you can purchase that hook onto the front of the motorhome that can literally lift you up. You sit in it, a chair comes out, it lifts you and the chair up, and it puts you in the passenger seat. There is no passenger seat in the motorhome, so it flips you around and you're in the passenger seat. And then you just bolt your chair in, and then you just slide over to the driver's seat. And there you go, and you're the driver, and you got a 40-foot motorhome, or whatever, 45. And all you have to do is make sure that that it has a straight pass-through to the bedroom, and that's it. And also, if you do a no-slide motorhome, when you're driving, you've got quite a bit of space. You got 96 inches interior width from wall to wall, and then you got a sofa and let's say another sofa, and then you got cabinets and things. But you've got, I think, 40 to 42 inches between things, so you can get your chair, back and forth. And again, that's for driving. That's the freedom motorhome. Now, the motorhome that you live in, well, you get one with slides. All right, so basically you don't have access to the back, because when the slides are in, you got 20 inches. So, so much for getting around in a chair. Let's see. Yeah, the big thing is cost per mile. Will that one last 1,000,000 miles? Here's the 1,000,000-mile myth. It's not. It's sort of a myth, but it's not. If you buy a brand new motorhome, a brand new Prevost bus, brand new, off the showroom floor, and today that bus would be, if you got a great deal on it, $2.4 million for a really, really good one, okay? And you drive that bus 200,000 miles a year. Yeah, it's got a 1,000,000-mile warranty, or 5 years, whichever comes first. All right, so truckers, they do about 200,000 miles a year, what are called the long-haul truckers. And so when you hear, oh, it's a 1,000,000-mile motor, they're not kidding. You know, they are. Typically, they rebuild at six to 700,000. But that motor on that semi made a lot of money, $600,000 to $700,000. A semi motor can be $80,000, $90,000, $100,000, and that's the same motor that's in the motorhome. So the motorhomes I love to buy, like I've got one, a gentleman that found me online. He's bringing me down a 45-foot 2006 Monaco Signature, which was one of the top 4 or 5 motorhomes you could buy in 2006. And I don't mean most popular, I mean best. You know, the Country Coach Magna, the American Revolution, the Country Coach Infinity, Newmar Essex, and one other one, Travel Supreme, Select. Those were your 6, and then the Signature. It was one of those top 6. So 600 horse Cummins. It's got 70,000 miles on it, but it's got some delam on it, delamination, some water leaking. So I'm going to have my body shop here in Tampa fix it. And they fix it for about a quarter or a fifth of what other people will fix it for. And so he's going to bring that down here. We're going to make it like new. That's where the Class C is right now. And he'll sell that motorhome for about $150,000. New, it was $600,000. And then I'm picking up the Magna in Nashville, the 05 Magna. That's a little above the Signature. And it's got a 525 Cat. It's got 82,000 miles on it. And that's going to sell for $152,000 too. And it's going to be all fixed up, new batteries, tires and batteries in a big beast motorhome are list price $10,000. Okay, so again, we look at annual cost. You buy something that doesn't depreciate, doesn't go down in value. A brand new Class C motorhome on a Ford van chassis can cost up to $150,000, even though a lot of them are around $120,000, $110,000. But it's a van. It's a $28,000 van. You know, half a van with a shell on the back, and but anyway, and that's going to depreciate. So after 5 years, that $150,000 thing is going to be $80,000. So and of course you got a deal on it. You paid $120,000, so it went down $9,000 a year. For $5,000 a year, you can buy the 45-foot motorhome that used to be $600,000-$700,000. Today would be over $1 million, and it will cost you the same money to own, the same depreciation as the small one. The key difference is you got to pay for the better hotel room, you know. Which means you got your $10,000 tires and batteries, which you got to replace at the maximum 5 years. But most people do it every 4 years. So there's 10,000. That's $2,500 a year for tires and batteries. I get warranties on these coaches, and the warranties are good for about 3 years, and they're $500-$600 a month. Okay, so there you go. It just keeps adding up. So you're up to $800 a month, and then the payment is maybe another $800, $900 a month. I mean, if you just take it against your house, it's $700, but it's about $900 a month payment, and so there you go. There's $20,000 a year to own a luxury motorhome, and so for $10,000 a year, it's like the difference between being on an inside cabin on a small cruise ship for a weekend and being on the top floor cabin outside deck, back middle of the ship, for a 1-month cruise. And it only costs you $10,000 more to go on the 1-month cruise than it does for the weekend cruise. So it's kind of that scenario. Yeah, 10 grand. Yeah, 8 to 10 grand. Houses in California are just ridiculous. You know, I can't believe. I mean, I was in California in 2010 at an RV show as like a consulting salesperson, and I could not believe I'm talking to people about $3 grand a month payment. Oh yeah, I'm paying more than that right now. It's like, really? It's like, oh yeah, I pay $8,000 a month. That was in 2010. Yeah, I live right up there on the hill. This is over the Rose Bowl. So, hello Rita. Yeah, we're talking about RVs. Now the thing is, the reason why I think it's okay to talk about RVs is because when Christine, Nick, and I were on the road with our cat, dog, crawfish, and cockatiel, bird, we were playing music. That's what we did. Except we were salaried employees by the Ringling Circus, making a 6-figure salary between us. So, you know, we were living the life and throwing it away. So my main goal is to see what would it take to be a musician and to have those choices, the freedom to choose wherever you wanted to play. You know, and if you travel enough, I mean, it all works out. If you stay in an RV park, it's going to cost you, I don't know, $35, $40 a night, up to $100 plus a night. And if you don't stay in an RV park, you can go to a Walmart. You can stay there and just keep moving. You know, stay at this Walmart and then go 100 miles, stay at another Walmart, and just travel around. But you still got to spend money to travel around for the fuel, and you know, 8 miles to the gallon, 10 at the most. And then if it's hot out, you got to run a generator. That's $2.75 an hour to run your generator. So if you're sitting, and you're going to be there longer than 2-3 hours, well, it's cheaper to get an RV park in the summer. The winter time, you can come down south, and it's not. I mean, you'll have some really cold days, but most of the time you won't need to use your generator. And then as it gets warmer, you just choose your climate, and so you can actually keep it at 70 degrees all year. You just start down in Florida, and then you just move up. You go up to Georgia, and then in that zone, you know, southwest, and then you just go to the Midwest, and then you go to north, and you go up to Canada. And there you are, summer in Canada. It's great, and you'll never see 85 degrees ever. Judith's right. Okay, so a van will get much better mileage. No, actually, the only van that gets really good miles are the Sprinter vans, and 2008 Sprinter van, Winnebago Class C, with 70,000 miles on it, you can get for about $45,000 to $50,000 today. Right, and the Sprinter vans will get about 17, and so that's the best case scenario. But they're 24 feet long, 45-foot motorhome. I wrote an article in 2011 or 12, and it was the cost of your dream vacation, and it's the dream vacation in a motorhome, in your car, or flying. All right, so and without going through the whole article, let me see, does it still exist? Let me see if I can find it. All right, hold on. this website still exists. Let's see, does it still exist? RV News. All right, let's see, rvnews.com. No. Magazine. All right. Let's see. Here, search website archives. Now, if I can find archives, I actually saved all these articles, and the thing is, I didn't save them on the hard drive I saved them in. I don't know where it is. So, but I saved every article I ever did. There you go, archives 19. Nah. All right. Well, anyway, let me see if I can find this. Yeah, I used to write articles for the RV News magazine, and but no, they don't have it anymore. Anyway, but the magazine was purchased by an industry company, so they were out there for industry and RV users, and then they went to total industry. So what I did was anti-industry, so they got rid of me. But I wrote an article in a nutshell back in 2011 to buy a brand new motorhome. I'm sorry, not a brand new motorhome, a 2007 Country Coach Affinity with depreciation, which would have been 4 years old. And it gets 8 miles to the gallon, and we're going on a 10,000-mile trip, and we are going to visit 5 theme parks, and we have $5,000 spending money. The RV is, with the $5,000 spending money, $18,800, including food. That's how much the least you can spend. Okay, so $18,000 for 1 month, 10,000 miles. In a car, gets 30 to 40 miles to the gallon. I actually chose a Mercedes. I got 30. The trip would be $24,000. Flying, like, I want to, what do you call it? Anywhere, the cheap Southwest flight, staying in Holiday Inns, $24,000. To fly first class and stay at the level of luxury you are in the motorhome, it would be just under $50,000. And so the $18,000 in the motorhome included depreciation, insurance. What I did is we did $1 a mile, and then your total cost is $3,000 out of pocket, $3,800, and the $5,000, which you have to go to your theme parks for a family of 4. So, and that was done. It took me 2 weeks to get all the numbers. And it's quite a good article, but you just don't realize it. Mileage has zero, nada. It's got nothing to do with the cost of going on a trip, okay? Mileage is the absolute least important thing. If your car gets 100 miles to the gallon, it's electric. If you have an electric car, you'll save, versus the motorhome, $400, $500. That's it. Okay, so there's no big savings. You have to eat 3 meals a day. This is doing it right, not starving yourself, but 3 meals a day. You have to stay in a hotel 7 days a week. Okay, you're not going to sleep in your car, even though you can. Okay, because again, people get motorhomes so they don't have to sleep in their car. And if you tow a trailer, you can't make dinner while you're going down the road. You actually have to pull over, and you have to set up camp. You have to hook the generator up, get it all going. Motorhome, you just go down the road. You know, if it's one person, well, you can't cook and drive at the same time. But you can put something in the convection oven for a half hour and then just pull over into a rest area and take it out, and then you can eat it while you're driving on a little table right next to you. Because motorhomes, they don't sway. The big ones, they don't sway. I would drive hundreds of miles with one of those big tall bottles of soap, you know, the shampoo, in the shower. It would be standing up. It wouldn't fall down. You know, so, but again, my first time I ever drove, it would. Most people cannot afford these times. Sorry, what cars are you saying? Almost all cars today get 40 miles to the gallon. If you drive Pop's car at 62 miles an hour, it gets 40 miles to the gallon. If you drive it at 70, it gets 28. If you drive it at 80, it gets 23. It's really weird. It's got its speed. I can get 10 miles to the gallon in a 45,000-pound motorhome at 59 miles an hour. If I decide I want to go 65, though, the mileage will drop 25%. So speed has everything to do with it, and wind resistance and physics. So, but anyway, yeah, the whole key is if there's a cost to traveling in a motorhome, and if you do not have $10,000–12,000 a year, don't do it. Okay, extra. You don't want to do it. Yeah, that motorhome I did with the video, where I did the video and just sold a couple months ago. It was $325 a month for the warranty. The man that bought it got $699 interest, and he's paying a $675 a month payment. So basically, he's paying $1,000 a month, $12,000 a year to own the motorhome, not including maintenance. Then plus maintenance, he's going to spend another $3,000, and not that much, $2,000. Tires, batteries, the whole thing. It kind of averages out. Yeah, $3,000. So there you go, $13,000 a year. But he's in a luxury motorhome that costs $450 grand new, long time ago, and yeah. So anyway, yeah. But again, if you're in a car, you either sleep in the car or you have to stay in a hotel every night. So there's $100 a day for the cheapest hotel you can imagine, right? $33 a night, including tax. That's a $29.95. That's a $24.95 hotel. That's a Roach motel. It'll cost you. Did I say $100 a day? Yeah, $29. It'll cost you whatever that comes out to times 7, so $210 a week, plus food, and unless you carry a Bunsen burner with you, these little things you cook on, and you eat out. There's another $20 a day if you to eat healthy. So it comes out to about $500 a week. Okay, $500 to $600, and then whatever you're going to spend on yourself. So there you go. You sleep in your car for. No, I'm sorry, not sleep in your car. Stay in a Roach motel and drive around. I didn't include the fuel. So with the fuel, it's the same price. It really is, but except you're staying in Roach motels. And when you're in a pre-owned luxury motorhome, you're in the Ritz-Carlton. And so you got to pay something for it. They're not free. If people have the money, though, and money's not like, I'm saying they've saved up, they got $1 million put away, a few $100,000. They sell their house, okay, that they paid $40,000 for in 1956, and they sell it in any state that's up north or whatever, California. Get $1 million for it, put it in the bank. And you go out and you buy that $150,000 motorhome with no depreciation. You can literally drive around that motorhome for a year, and all you're going to spend is maintenance and fuel tires, batteries, and that's it, and then you're done. You get most of your money back. All right, so, but that's the people that have money. Those same people are going to go out and they're going to buy a brand new motorhome, and they're going to spend 10 times the money on it. So, but again, mileage has zero to do with it. You can have an electric car. Cost per day inside of a motorhome, like a gas motorhome, all right, we'll say the Class C. Okay, I call that roughing it, but anyway, roughing it in the Class C, you get 8 to 9 miles to the gallon. Same thing, wind. It doesn't matter. Believe it or not, the big motorhomes at 65 miles an hour will get better mileage than a Class C will, and it weighs 5 times more. It's called physics. Get moving down the road, that thing's only putting out 180 horsepower to go 65 because you got mass going down the road. But anyway, yeah, it's a Class C. If you just kind of scamp a little bit, you can live pretty good. You don't have to stay in a hotel. Stop at the Walmart, sleep there 2 days a week. If you want to travel, you know what I'm saying, you go places for 2 or 3 days, stay in an RV park 2 or 3 days, stay in a Walmart 2 days or 3 days. And so you're going to spend maybe $300 a week for not even that, about $250 a week for lodging. And you're in your nice motorhome. You got your stuff with you, cat, dogs, birds, friends, wife, husband, and fuel. That's it. And again, the further you go, the more it costs. Yeah, you can literally rough it pretty nicely in a Class C motorhome. It's just that we never experienced that. We started in a 37-foot diesel, had it for a month, went to 40, had it for a year, went to 44, and all I can tell you is you go to the 44-foot motorhome, and this is stuff you'll have times you'll never forget about it. But the key is 3-4 years tops. That's it. That's like, because if you can see the whole country. I have another motorhome coming up for sale. Oh, I just remembered, this month, and it's a 2008 Country Coach Magna, and 600 Cummins, 42 feet, but it's like new, and it's been like, the interior was replaced. Well, nothing wrong with it. He just wanted it was dated, so he got new interior 3 years ago. Went on a trip for 2.5 years with his wife, and saw all of Cal, from Washington, Oregon, all the way down the California coast, down to Palm Springs, and New Orleans, New York. I mean, they did. Actually, they didn't do the Northeast yet. They're going to get a small motorhome, because that's what I told them. I said, you won't have fun in a big motorhome in the Northeast. Too congested. So they're going to get a small one. But out west, there's just so much incredible views to see, But anyway, so I guess, I don't know. Do I want to play? I don't even know if I want to play. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get Pop out here, because I've been talking for about an hour now. And Bix is still here, and Lionel is still here. Hey, Lion. How about that, huh? Oh, here, let me pull Lionel into the frame. Hey, buddy. Hey, how are you? Okay. You want a cookie? Here, have another cookie. There you go. Okay. And, all right. Yeah, so see, we got the cat, and we got another cookie for Bix. Cookie, all right. Yeah. All right, so, hey, Pop, you ready? Pop. I thought I heard him. I guess I have to go get him. Let's see if the dog stays. You ready, Pop? Okay. Okay, I'll tell you what. All right, so Ashar, let's title this one Joe's, just say RV Buyers Advocate. Free advice. Okay. All right, put that on the video, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this video, and then we're going to come back with Pop and Christine. All right, thanks for hanging with me, guys, and letting me talk. I just need to. What do I think about the Coachman Murata? Coachman Murata is a low level RV. Good if you can buy them for $30,000. Not high quality at all. You know, and but again, it'll do the job. It'll get you around. You know, and it's wider, and it's a nicer drive than the Class C. I actually sold one for a lady, sold it 2014, last 2 years ago for her. It was the first gas motorhome I ever sold. It was very hard to sell because they pop these things out. It takes them maybe a week to build. The stuff that I'm talking about takes 6-7 months to build. So think about it. The Coachman Murata today is maybe $190,000. And takes a week and a half, 2 weeks, whatever, to build it. Country Coach was $600,000-700,000 12 years ago, 13 years ago, and it took 6-7 months to build it. And people are buying the new Muratas and like crazy. You know, they'll get it for $140,000, $139,900 or something like that. And for another few bucks, they can go up and buy 10 times the motorhome. And but again, the cost of ownership is higher because it's a higher level motorhome. You're buying $1 million motorhome, so you got to maintain it like $1 million motorhome. So Coachman Murata will cost less to own, just because it has less stuff in it. You know, you got to do things more yourself. But
who are you talking about? Russia?
Bix left. No, I'm talking about the motorhomes. Yeah, talking about motorhomes. All right, so anyway, thank you for letting me talk about RVs. Wow, I got 11 people. Cool. All right, anyway, remember, all right, so if you want to learn more about it, my website is, here, let me put it on there. There's 2 of them. And let's see. Yeah, anyway, the .com site is the new site. The .net, I built it in 2009. I did it myself. It looks like it was built by a 5th grader. Anyway, need help to get them going, because if the world knew about RV Buyers Advocate, I've got relationships with the biggest dealers in the country, and I can sell their inventory. And they let me literally come in and bring customers in and test drive the units and everything, because I make things easy for them. And so anyway, when Ashar, when you start making the big bucks, you want to go on the road, start traveling, you know what to do, right? But yeah, definitely need help with the websites.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Bob.
be back.
I almost threw him the towel.